So this is the first iteration of this year's list. I'm probably going to go over my impressions of each of the players and around where I had them. But I obviously didn't get to do a ballot because he sent them out when we were at MagFest, and I just didn't have time, which sucked. But I still looked at a lot of the data, so I have a pretty good idea of where I would have put most people. Excuse me. What's up, Solo Battle? Yo, good stuff, dude. I've been seeing you in the streams. Good stuff, man. Showing people that that matchup is actually abysmal, but you played it really well. You played that matchup really well. But yeah, so this is the first iteration. So this will be 100 to 91. I'm gonna do one for each of these that comes out. And yeah, so 45 top players, communities, blah blah blah. And basically, yeah, so super important. If each player attended a tournament every weekend, who would perform the best on average over the course of the entire season. You may choose to bench style players who attended more to each event. Yep, pretty standard stuff. As I've said before, to me, this definition implies no recency. You have to take the entire year into account equally. You would never count Genesis more than SmashCon, in my opinion. So why should you account two comparable tournaments? Let's say like Mango's birthday bash more than I don't know, EGLX. Maybe slightly not the same caliber, but I think that's a pretty important thing to distinguish. I don't think recency really matters here. Okay. Focus on the first 50 will be the interviews. Okay, so yeah, the bottom 50 will have blurbs. I have to actually get back to mine. So number 100 is actually Snowy. Not a bad choice. A few really good wins. I know he beat Swedish at King, which is a New Jersey regional, but he was pretty consistent. Seems to be extraordinarily good versus Fox. NJ literally got Snowy ranked top 100, yeah. It's like, you see 49 is not bad. 49th here is not great. 5th at King, which we'll go more into, is really good. I think he lost to the Swooper, though, actually, there. And then 7th at DreamHack, Dallas. Snowy, what do you prioritize for 2020? Make a big enough poker bankroll so I can finally keep moving up stakes. How do you feel about your 2019 Melee as a whole? I think I did pretty well for someone who doesn't like the competitive side of Melee, so I enjoyed it. Interesting. He has talked about how basically at this point in his career, he only really cares about training against Fox to help the Fox players, and doesn't really care about where he is or where he progresses to in the future. So pretty interesting. Good for him for getting ranked. I think he definitely was not ranked last year. So good for him to get ranked. Bunch of really good wins. Not the most consistent performances, but still pretty good. Where do you think you'll be ranked? He didn't think he'd be ranked. But when I play this, I know I'm at least the top 50, so it really sucks that I'm a nervous competitor. Yeah, I feel that, but I feel like if that's the case, you just kind of have to throw yourself into the fire. If you actually care about getting ranked highly, which apparently he doesn't, so I'm not gonna chastise him for it. But if you really care about improving and you are nervous, you have to really just double down and one, put yourself in the situation, and then two, really try to work on it. Don't just be cool with standard pat. Number 99, very happy to see him on this list. Well deserved. This guy is about as much of a grinder as you can possibly get, and I'm really happy to see it pay off for him. All memes about him aside, good friend of mine, really hard worker. Very happy to see him on this list. Actually, really happy for him. I'll probably message him after the stream. So the Super, ranked number 9, New Jersey Samus player. Started around the same time I started playing. Started around the same time as Soonsay started playing. And maybe, if you remember, never made top 100, but definitely would have if he kept playing. Super grinder. Pretty dope Samus too, actually. All things considered, I think his Samus is actually pretty dope. I like it a lot. Currently, my motivation to compete in Melee. My friends, I've met some of the best people at these tournaments. It's lots of fun hanging with them. I'm getting to see everyone when I go to a big event. Mental health has not been the greatest as of recently. The support of friends really keeps me going strong and it means the world to me. Yeah, his mental health has been kind of in the dumpster recently. Not as an insult to him, but he's been feeling really down in the dumps. So hopefully this picks him back up and gives him the motivation he needs to keep grinding and working at it. I think he also streams, so give him a follow if... yeah, he does stream. Give him a follow. How do you feel Melee changed in 2019? Everyone just keeps getting better. Yep, game has been the same since 2001. Game itself hasn't changed, but the higher average skill consistently does, and how much access to new tools and forms of playing the game are available for practice. Yep. Pretty spot on. The average skill of every player in this game has increased dramatically. really dramatically. People are so good now. Smash and Splash, uh, that didn't age the best for a favorite tournament series, but Smash Splash is super fun. Lots of setups. Water Park is sick. It's not the best if you want to do stuff outside of the venue, but still pretty good. Number 98. Also happy to see this guy. Someone who I think I've mentioned on Twitter, I think is going to be extremely, extremely good in the very near future. Soonsay, 98th. Canadian Fox, kind of coming up the same way Moki did. He's a very interesting playstyle, very entertaining to watch. Very, very sick player. Cool Fox, cool guy, really fun to talk to and hang out with. I like him a lot. Really happy to see him on this list. Crash Human of 2019, being the highest playing to unranked unsponsored play at EGLX 2019. Netted me a sponsorship after following a year of just short. It was extremely cathartic to finally do something great for yourself at Melee. Yeah, it's great when you feel like you fall short and then you could finally break through. I kind of had that in the 2016 to 2017 transition, so I actually know what he's talking about pretty well, and it feels really nice to like finally get that. This guy's gonna be so good, I guarantee. Like he's gonna be top 50 next year without a doubt if he keeps going. How do you feel about your 2019 Melee as a whole? So while solidifying belief in your zone skills and finding confidence to compete against best players on the big stage, I think I've done that now. Set a sharp upward trajectory for himself in 2020. I agree. He didn't lose to like anyone that wasn't like a stellar player at a big event, basically at all. And so when you're only losing to really good players and you're taking some sets off of good players and you're consistently taking them close, it's only a matter of time before things really start going your way. So I'd be shocked if this guy didn't have a crazy, crazy jump. Kind of like last year, like Absent Page, Moki, and myself all kind of made that jump for like 50 ranks. I'd be surprised if he didn't follow suit. Where do you think he'll be ranked? 85 to 100? Yep. I kind of had him around the 90 range. I think it's a little low, but I also value consistency a lot more than a lot of people, so I don't blame it. But yeah, pretty much go for your top 100, so I don't mind where I make it, just hope that I do. Well, you did. And I think Moki was 98th in 2017. My own top 100 2017. Am I misremembering that? Yeah, he was 96. Okay, Zealous was 97, 98th. Okay, so close enough. But around the same vein that Moki was in around this time 2 years ago. And like, look where Moki is now. He's a borderline top 10 player, taking a set off Leffen, H-Fox to game 5, beating Plump. So, watch out for Soonsay. 97 Panda. Admittedly, don't know as much of... I didn't realize how good Panda was going into the year. I kind of figured he was like around the top 300 guy who was just super, super technical and not much else. But I watched his play a lot more, and I've kind of seen his results this year, and he obviously proved me wrong. Unfortunately, we couldn't get a hold of Panda before the rankings were published. So let's look him up for a second. Panda Melee. God damn it. Okay. Really? Does he really not have a freaking... Is there a Liquipedia? Oh, come on. You've got to be kidding me. Plump has a Wikipedia? Let's go, Plump. Okay, well, that's unfortunate. I don't actually remember what Panda's group best wins of the year were. Does anyone... Hold on. I can do this. I can do this off stream. 1 second. 1 second. So I'm going to bring up the sheet that we got. I did actually get it, but... Obviously, because I ran out of time, because I was at an event, I couldn't do it. So let me, real quick. Okay. So let me see this real quick. I don't know if this is technically classified information, but the fact that it's after the thing comes out, I don't think it'll matter too much. If he has a problem, that's fine. So Panda's 4-3 Blade Rise White, right. He's Pacific Northwest now, if I remember correctly. I'm pretty sure he's Pacific Northwest. He used to be Florida. So he's 3-0 with Commaster, so that's pretty good. 1-0 with Tai. 1-0 with MoMA. Okay, so these are pretty like decent results. 1-0 with 100 grand. 1-0 with Bobby. 1-0 with Chango. 1-0 with Curve. Pretty consistent overall. Maggie surprised me this year. I played Maggie at the beginning of the year, and I didn't think he was going to place as well as he did. 1-0 with Null, 1-0 with Nut. Nut's definitely top 100. Okay. A little surprised There's probably stuff I don't know. Actually, I'm not that surprised that he's over Soonsay. These are all people with around the same excuse me, around the same caliber of resumes. But yeah, dope, happy. I don't know much about his play specifically, but hopefully we get to see more. Like, he doesn't even have a Liquipedia or a Smash Wiki yet, so hopefully that changes. Number 6 is Scythe. Does he doesn't even, oh, he does have a Twitter, okay. Scythed, not Scythed. I always thought his tag was Scythed. So Scythed, right? That's how you pronounce it. I've heard that he was fairly old school-ish. But I don't know if that's actually true, but Scythed drop Ganon? I guess so. He's from one of the biggest Ultimate Chamber Gmod servers. That's actually kind of funny. Number 96, I would have been shocked if he was top 100. Basically what I know, I'm a little surprised he wasn't higher. At this stage in your Melee career, who would you consider your rival? Ty, because you play all the time, and I always barely lose except for at Smash Camp. Yeah, I remember him being tied Smash Camp. That was a set. That's all I'll say on that set. Pushed more than anyone else for a good while now. It's always really nice to have like a partner to like push you. I remember he also beat he had one craze tournament. Maybe it was Smash Camp. I think he also did really well main stage. Graduating from grad school and developing software full time is his priority for 2020, so probably a step back from Melee. Favorite tournament series is Smash Camp. It's the best experience to hang out with people in the middle of nowhere, play some video games. Sounds like a good time to me. Number 95 is Cogegg. I wasn't sure if he was going to be ranked this year, to be completely honest. And based off of what I remember, I'm a little surprised he was. What were Kage's big wins this year? Does anyone know? I'm going to move on from that, but I don't remember anything. I know he almost beat SFAT at SmashCon. No, he almost beat So he beat Magi and Bananas. Okay, so Bananas one's probably going to help him a lot. Magi still a top 60 win. I don't know. I feel like Scythed or Soonsay Swooper had more. I like to give benefit of people to a 10 more, but I guess he's international, so it's not that bad. Either way, obviously a top 100 caliber player. That's not to be debated. I'm just thinking about results. And KZ, okay. But KZ's not like a top 40 player this year. He's probably like a top 70, top 60 if I had to guess. Could not get a hold of Kage before the ranks were published. 94 is H2A. So, H2A obviously switched characters in the middle of the year. He's now a solo Fox, I'm pretty sure. I don't think he plays Sheik at all. So it's kind of one of those weird situations, like what do you do when someone's played half the year with one character, half the year with another? Hard to say, but regardless, still a fairly impressive year, if I remember correctly. How do you feel Melee changed 2019? 3 things: defensive edge cancel options became meta. Martha players improved a lot after copying Zayn, and people are creating content now. Defensive edge cancel option? Oh, okay. Sorry, I had to think about that for a second. H12 plays mainly Fortnite. That's not surprising. What's up, Drew? What's your least favorite matchup and why? I don't really hate matchups, more so playstyles. I agree 100%. I hate people execution test and get away with it and then have egos. Yes, agreed. At this stage in your Melee career, who would you consider your rival? Cobalt, but he's more of a nemesis than a rival. Yeah, I think that's like... I think that head-to-head is like really one-sided. So it's like, that's the person that he plays that's most consistently annoying, but it's like, it's because having a hard time overcoming it more than anything else. What the fuck is an execution? Do you know what an execution test is? Number 93, Sharks. Definitely a little bit of a fall from last year. I think he actually started off the year really hot, and then once Wobbling got banned, just kind of got disenchanted with the game, started playing less, started playing more FGC games, and his results took a hit in the second half of the year and barely tented anything. Started off strong at Genesis, had a decent CEO, okay at the script, third at Entry Ultra. Could not get a hold of it before the ranks were published. I'm not shocked. I don't think he really cares about the game anymore. I don't think he really wants to play. As far as my knowledge of him goes, I'm pretty sure he just doesn't really care. I could be wrong, so if I'm wrong, please correct me. 92 is Rocky. Crazy, because he was top 50 last year. Also took a hiatus, I think, in the second half of the year. Got off to not the best start. Took a hiatus in the second half, but he is grinding now again, so we'll see where he is. But it's a little weird to see him this low. Really, really good against Fox. I know he had a crazy good record against SFAT. He plays me, and he does really well. Seems to do well against all the Foxes. And pretty good against some of the floaties, too. I made Falco because of his Street Fighter-esque. Laser Projectile before competing in Smash tournaments. I competed in Ultra Street Fighter 4 tournaments. I did not know that. Falco's Projectile made the transition from USF4 to SBM much smoother for me. It also has that Falco's super stylish combos and is a fan favorite, which is nice. Yeah, yeah, he was 51 last year, right? Price achievement in 2019. Yes. Oh my god, hold on. This was actually... So, this was me and him at, This was me and him at Full Bloom. I don't know how many people have actually seen this comeback, but it was fucking wild. Hold on. This was one of the craziest... We had just beaten PewFat, and this was like our first time teaming ever. Yeah, he's been focusing on school, yeah. I know, he's just taking a step back, but he's grinding now. So, a little bit background. We had just beaten PewFat, and we were, like, on a super high. And then we were, like, pretty much going to lose to Zane and Swedish, which were kind of, like... Obviously, would have been a big bum after, like, making a huge upset like that. Your friends talk about this all the time. Dude, this clip was sick. If it actually loads for me. You can see yourself. Dude, he was. I was like, no way you just made that comeback, bro. Can anyone tell me why this isn't working? Okay, there we go. Okay, so just watch this clip. This is really laggy and I don't know why. Probably Spectrum just sucking. Really? Really? I'm gonna let this buffer. Hopefully by the end of the video, it's taken care of. I don't know why this is turned so bad right now, but we'll see. I'll let that buffer in the background. But yeah, basically he had this crazy 2v1 comeback that ended with a suicide down air on Swedish, I think, and it was just like, no way you made that comeback. That was crazy. These same matches against Ice Climber, it's not so much, but the idea of wobbling. Yeah, I kind of agree. It's like legal or banned, fine. Just pick one so we know which one we have to deal with and then move on. I hate that there's so much back and forth. I think there's arguments for both, but you just gotta pick one, dude. You gotta pick one. Like you can't have a divided community like that over such a centralized issue that a lot of people care about. And then number 91 is Amsa. This is weird to see him this low. He's kind of fallen off the past few years, but he just I don't think he really cares as much. And it's not that he's gotten worse, but he just doesn't care enough to improve like he used to. And everyone is just getting better. I don't think he's gotten worse. What made it fit you to compete in Melee? Same reason as always. I enjoy the game. Don't need any more motivation than that. Pretty good. This man's just fit. Goddamn. How do you feel that Melee changed in 2019? Meta shifting more towards defensive play? Yes, it is. And it's really unfortunate. No, it was not always this way. It's genuinely shifting towards defensive. So only throwing out defensive arrows, avoiding reactions, looking to only whiff punish. Means that having long, traditionally fast-paced matchups. I wish I had that kind of discipline. Yeah, definitely, definitely not the best. But what's your favorite tournament series and why? Air, no question. I could type an essay on why, but unless you've been to one, you won't understand. I'm glad I've got to experience a few before they called it quits. I'm sad I never got to. So that was 91 to 100. That'll go on YouTube, obviously. Pretty interesting. It's so weird seeing a bunch of like old school players or like higher ranked players that fell for various reasons. Rocky, Amsa, H2, Cogegg. But more exciting is like New Blood. I know Snowy isn't going to compete too hard, but Super, especially Soonsay, Panda, Shai Shai, Rocky obviously also fell. 91 to 100 has always kind of felt like either a cusp of someone coming up who just made it or a bunch of old school people who are kind of not given the benefit of the doubt, but it's like you know they're good and you don't want to keep them off the list, and so you kind of put them on there somewhere.